Hallelujah. Finally. Thank Christ. It's finally happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was hard. Yeah, that was hard. That was hard work. Wait, can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, that was hard work. Sorry if it appears I was being a bit too pushy. It's just
No,
you
it's
know.
all right. I just have a lot going on.
Yeah.
I'm trying to line up some stuff. I got family things. I'm trying to just busy. Not bad. Just staying busy these days. After we're done talking, I think I'm probably gonna go out and get a walk in. Because I haven't really been outside today. I was up late, so I slept in late. Then we did this Ahsoka recording, and now I need to I feel like I need to stretch my legs and stuff.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
I need to get out and sweat a bit.
Well, honestly though, that honestly, being busy recording, yourself watching, one of the greatest TV shows of all time, is a great way to to spend your time. In my
No, that's
humble,
all right. No, I don't mind. I mean, it's fun to watch Ahsoka with friends when they're all, when we're all kind of. I mean, the show's really bad. I get a spoiler, but it's not really a spoiler. No, it's not a spoiler. I think it's the worst episode.
Yeah, I could tell. Like honestly, I feel like y'all. Well, to be honest, me to an extent because I'm actually no better. I feel like we're like secretly we're like masochistic, just a little bit though, like not too much.
I don't know. Sometimes when you record stuff and you watch it, it really is kind of painful. When you're with friends and you're all making fun of it, then it makes even really painful stuff to watch a lot more bearable.
Yeah, honestly.
But there are some things that are really pushing it. I think when we watched, let's see, like Army of the Dead, large parts of the Snyder Cut, a lot of the times, if it's just, I guess those are coincidentally both Zack Snyder things, but those just came to mind. But sometimes, yeah, it's painful to watch stuff. But usually not. Usually we enjoy things even if they're bad.
I've only watched the first EFAP Ahsoka episode. I haven't watched the other two yet. But thus far, do you think Ahsoka is like the worst Star Wars? Because I actually, honestly, I think I can say Mandalorian now. Like out of all of these shows, which one do you think is the one that gives you like ball cancer? Like, is it Mandalorian, Obi-Wan? Yeah, like out of the five, I think I can say Mandalorian now because season 3 was just that bad.
I think it was probably Kenobi. I think that they ruined a lot in Kenobi. I mean, they ruined Obi-Wan Kenobi as a character. They did a lot of weird retconny stuff. We had the whole Reva thing. They really fucked with Darth Vader a lot. That was really bad. Ahsoka's super cringe and frustrating, and they are ruining quite a bit.
It gets worse. If you saw the new video that Mahler made, which you probably have, then it just gets worse and worse and worse.
Yeah, we just watched the 7th episode today and did a recording for that. So I think there's only one left until it's done, I think, which is kind of wild because it seems like so little has actually really happened. In episode 7, like nothing happens. The amount of actual plot progress is virtually nothing, which is shocking. It's just
I've only caught up to like episode 5, which was the the one where Anakin makes a super cool appearance. Yeah. Did we ever in episode 7 do we ever find out who that weird ass fucking knight thing is, like that knight mask guy from episode 3?
Oh yeah, Marok, I think its name was. No, so far no. He's just dies and that's it. He just turns to dust and we're all just like, what the fuck was that? And like, I don't know.
Oh wait, he dies? What?
Yeah.
Oh, what? Oh, I'm actually disappointed. I know this is like the modern Star Wars, but like I still feel like I feel disappointed even when I expect it. Like how do you do that?
Well, you just think just because most people have seen movies before, so you expect that there's like a reason for things, but no, it's just some random mook really with a lightsaber, and he just gets fucking killed, and that's that, and he just turns to dust, and it's just over. And all right, well.
Oh, that was the part. Oh, I was actually kind of expecting. Like if I was expecting something at least decent in Ahsoka, at least I was expecting like some cool shit with the night guy, like something really. I'm insane, as you can tell. This is the definition of insanity. But okay, yeah. I don't know what to expect anymore from Disney's from Ahsoka. So yeah, Night Guy just dies. All right, that's pretty cool. And well, like I said, I've only caught up to episode 5. What happens in episode 6?
Oh, I mean, it'll all come out. I mean, we got these recordings coming out, so I mean, it'll all
In,
come out.
like the way. Okay, the way I've watched this show is kind of dishonest. I watched the first episode, like actually, then I watched y'all's videos, then I watched Disparu's video. I watched the second episode, like for real. Then I watched Disparu's video. Then from episode 3 to not from forward, I just been watching Disparu. Like I actually can't do it, you know. Like it was just like
No, I gotcha. Yeah, I wouldn't be watching these alone. No, there's no way.
yeah
Absolutely
yeah
not.
yeah
I'd only watch them with friends making fun of them.
yeah. I honestly just been using Disparu for how do you pronounce that? Is it Disparu or Disparu?
Disparu, I think.
Okay. But yeah, like I just been using Disparu for all that because I just can't, you know. Thank God, right? That's also how I managed to get through Mandalorian season 3. I don't fucking watch that. I just use Disparu is kind of my savior, to be honest. Like for this shit. So yeah, because he's the only one making videos that are somehow longer than the episode themselves. Apparently his episode 3 video was 10 minutes longer than the actual episode, which is fucking embarrassing.
I mean, that's not special. I mean, that's typically what's going to happen if you really review an episode. A lot of the times, it will take longer to explain what's wrong with it than to just portray it being wrong. So
Yeah.
that's pretty typical. Like if I ever reviewed something, it's almost certainly going to be longer than the thing itself, unless I do a lot of trimming.
Yeah, but like Disparu's reviews aren't really okay. They are reviews, but it's just more him just kind of that's just actual unadulterated bullying, which is fine. But even the unadulterated bullying is like still longer. so anything can just kind of surpass Ahsoka, really. And it's really and actually and also I was seeing I remember a comment, I think you made it in the first Ahsoka video, where Andor, right, which is the hot take, the only good thing that Disney has ever done in the Star Wars. Like honestly, I don't. Rogue One wasn't terrible, but it just wasn't good. Force Awakens sucks. I don't know why people say Solo is good, but yeah, Solo is not good.
Oh, people just forget. I feel like people just completely forget that Solo even exists, myself included.
But
forget.
But yeah, like so far, Andor has been like legit the only good thing, and like unironically good, which kind of puts into perspective the priorities. Because how did they make a show about the fucking main character? Like you can argue that Obi-Wan's like the main character, right, of Star Wars.
Obi-Wan the main character of Star Wars?
Yeah, like it's either between him or Luke. Like you can kind of.
I mean, if I had to pick one, it would be. I don't know. It's tough to say. Maybe Luke, maybe Anakin, Darth Vader. But I don't know. I think I'm just gonna go with Luke, I suppose. But Filoni sure wants to add his new cringe characters. That's for certain, and make them the main character. I don't know. It's a bit broad to really say that there is or isn't a single one. But I'd probably go with Luke. It reminds me of a better time.
But yeah, you're gonna make a case that Obi-Wan is like the main character. Yeah, you saw how, fucking fantastical that was. And Ahsoka, which is like the main character of the Filoni verse, she's also doing absolutely great right now. Like just the best thing. But Andor, which is the only good thing, even though Andor is like a very hyper specific concept, it's literally like it's a prequel to a prequel about a side character. And that was the only good thing.
It's a I guess sort of, yeah. It is, yeah.
It's a prequel to a prequel about a side character that dies in the end. Yet that was what people cared about, even though no one watched it because the concept just is like not real.
I mean, it's the only one that's gonna have any sort of staying power. It's already been shortened, unfortunately, but people didn't watch it. It was too good, and it had like a story with characters and themes and acting in it. So yeah, I guess it's not things that Star Wars fans would like.
And also because it was a rather specific concept. Like that one actually is kind of excusable, but like Andor, you could tell was like a very different kind of show.
Oh yeah,
Like
clearly
yeah,
different.
like so. Okay, so yeah, there was kind of two excuses there, and only one of them actually kind of made sense. So yeah, we're doing great right now. I honestly, I don't even know what's coming up in the future for Star Wars. Like I've actually been forgetting really hard. Uh, Let me just kind of pull up a list of future Star Wars projects. Just give me a second. Hold on. Oh yeah. All right. So okay, yeah, this is dated now. I mean updated now. So we got Star Wars Skeleton Crew. Whatever that may be. Andor
No,
season
no,
and Andor season 2. No, you said no, like no, as in like ill, no, okay, or you
no.
were
I just
like,
don't know what that is. I don't know what Skeleton Crew is.
oh, okay. Star Wars Andor season 2. Okay, that's the only thing I'm actually just kind of looking forward to right now. Star Wars The Acolyte. Oh yeah, that fucking thing.
I don't know what that
Uh,
is. Mhm.
that's like the super. That's like the super woke one. Like I don't know. That's what I've been hearing. Then we got Taika Waititi Star Wars. Okay,
Yeah, that'll be bad.
okay.
Probably.
On like honest opinion, like what's your actual unadult like thoughts on Taika Waititi? Because Taika Waititi, when he wants to make a good movie, they're generally like really really good. Like What We Do in the Shadows is like amazing.
I've heard that's
But
good. Yeah, Jojo
yeah,
Rabbit was really good,
yeah,
but
I like Jojo Rabbit,
his
but
episode of Mandalorian was really bad and really shit. So you know,
which episode did he make again?
he made the season finale of episode 1 or season 1.
Ew, that was him.
Yeah, that was him. He did the whole Scout Troopers, Stormtrooper. They don't have aim. The joke at the beginning with the can. That was him.
Uh, I mean, okay. And his two Thor movies are. I'm probably in the minority for saying this one, but I fucking dislike Ragnarok. Like I really do. Like I can see why people
Oh,
like it. I
yeah,
can see why.
I like it quite a bit. Yeah.
Okay, I can see why people like it. Like I can see that like the Thor Dark World generally was like bad, but like to me Ragnarok was kind of like going to the extreme. Like oh shit, like we don't like this dark and dreary stuff, so we're just gonna go fucking full mega like over the top. Like I felt like there could have been a better solution than just wasn't going like the opposite direction. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But I mean, it did have very serious moments in it. It did have a lot of comedy in it. I think what they did with Thor and setting him up and the Odin stuff was really good. There's a lot about Ragnarok that I really like. It's definitely one that I enjoyed thoroughly.
Yeah, that's valid. Honestly, I just personally like there's actually a guy I'm watching right now. His name is like hold on, I'm kind of forgetting the channel name because it's a really hard name to pronounce. Uh, Hold on. Okay, yeah, his name is like Braden Alberti. Yeah, I'm watching his like Thor video right now, and it does make a lot of good points because it does feel like Thor Ragnarok is like it feels like a just like slight character, not too much, but it kind of feels like a slight character assassination because again, like they went from like super jury to like super mega hardcore like chillax dog. But honestly, like Ragnarok isn't the worst of it, obviously. Then we got Love and Thunder, which is the worst of it. So like, so
Yeah,
for,
yeah.
so like forget everything I just said there. Um, and so and also like just the attitude with Love and Thunder, like they legit were like, oh my god, I can't wait to ruin your lore. Like, woo, like what the fuck?
Yeah, he's got this really dismissive, kind of irreverent sort of way that he treats certain things that I think ultimately really is like I wouldn't let him anywhere near something if he didn't have a passion or care for it because I just think he's got a really really bad attitude and regarding a lot of the stuff that he said and with the way that Love and Thunder turned out, I just wouldn't. Yeah, my opinion of Taika has soured dramatically.
Yeah, like it actually got bad. That like it's to the point where Chris Hemsworth actually had to fuck off for a little bit because he legit was like, "Nah, I'm too tired of this shit." Um,
Yeah, he doesn't like his character being treated like a stupid idiot clown. Hemsworth is a really talented actor, and I think he wants to do really incredible things with Thor, but he's such a wishy-washy roller coaster character that I don't even know who Thor is at this point.
you,
I
you
mean,
honestly like it's really it's also like it's also really weird to like you could actually kind of destroy the character even more when you realize that legit like since the beginning like for Thor 1 it's been like, okay, I gotta discover who I am. Thor 2, I gotta discover who I am. Thor 3, I discovered who I am, but then fucking guess what, the city got destroyed. So Infinity War, I gotta discover who I am because my hammer's still destroyed. Uh, Thor. I fucking fucked up by not killing Thanos. And then he becomes fat in Endgame, which great job, guys. So now I gotta discover who I am. But then he does discover who he is by joining the Guardians. But then Love and Thunder is discovering who he is. Huh. Okay. So so yeah, like honestly, like the Thor character in the MCU is arguably one of the most like it's legit like maybe the most bullied character of all time, to be honest, in the MCU.
yeah, it feels that way. Even to the point where sometimes maybe it feels a bit like malicious or something. Whereas I think Bruce, in a similar fashion, has just sort of been forgotten and left behind. I think Thor's been treated like this weird pinball in this machine, and it's being tossed around, and we don't really know what's happening with him now. And it feels like we were really setting him up for something, and then like Endgame happened, and that did a lot of bad stuff, and then Love and Thunder kept it on, and yeah, not good. Good.
But yeah, I can't wait for Taika Waititi's Star Wars project. Next one is James Mangold's Ancient Jedi movie. Which
Oh, just so we're clear, is this like the thing that we're doing? Just talking about random like
no,
movie Star Wars
no,
stuff, or
no, I got questions, but like seeing how you just kind of came off of getting brutally murdered by Ahsoka.
no, I said I enjoy it.
But like
I'm watching it with my friends. We had a good time. I look forward to them.
okay, so like half murdered. Seeing how
No,
you're
no,
getting,
no.
uh,
We enjoy it.
you enjoy the pain.
No, it's not pain. We enjoy. It's fun to make fun of things that are bad with friends.
Fair enough. But yeah, like seeing how you were talking about Ahsoka, it would be like a cool opportunity. Like I was like the first thing that came up. But yeah, I got some questions, but I'm just kind of reading off a list here. But yeah, like James Mang. Okay, so I recently learned that James Mangold was the one that wrote Indiana Jones 5.
Yeah,
So yeah, we are.
really bad movie. So
Yeah, so like, I didn't know that, but until like a
anything
couple.
he's got his name attached to, I'd be immensely worried about.
Yeah. I actually okay, so because I'm a bit like dumb, I actually thought that the new film coming out, it's actually coming out in 2 days. The Creator, and you heard about that?
Nope.
Oh, so it's like a sci-fi film that's coming out soon. It was written by the guy that made Rogue One, actually.
Could be interesting. Yeah, I don't.
And,
I've never heard of it. I don't think. I don't know anything about it.
and because I get my names confused apparently. I thought James Mangold was the one that made Rogue One, and it just so happens that a film called The Creator is like a sci-fi thing, and I was like, oh wait, Rogue One is like the director of Rogue One is there, so I kind of like made like a weird thing, and I thought The Creator was gonna be that origin movie about the ancient Jedi, and but no, thank God it's not. It's not. The Creator's just like its own, like nothing to do with Star Wars at all. I got fucking scared for a little bit. Some other things are wait, Book of Boba Fett 2 is there's a season 2. What the fuck?
Yeah, I didn't know that. So it's more for us to cover, I suppose.
There's
We're not in danger of running out of work.
yeah yeah like yeah the careers are gonna be a lot of careers are gonna be made. There's Rogue Squadron. Yeah, I think I got fucking canceled. Um, Star Wars Rangers of the New Republic.
Don't
Whatever
know. Yeah, I
the
don't know
fuck.
what that is.
Uh, I like how IGN here has fucking Ryan Johnson Star Wars trilogy, like it's just still there. It's just fucking. So actually, speaking of Ryan Johnson, this is the first question, like the actual like planned question. But how did you get your start on YouTube? I'm assuming.
This was a while back, years ago now. It was making console versus PC videos. It was just a casual little hobby of mine. I'd got into PC gaming fairly recently, and watching videos like those kind of convinced me to get into PC gaming, which I'm very glad I did. And so, I had a job, I was doing, work, pretty normal, and then I
Okay.
just started to make these videos as a bit of a creative hobby, just kind of for funsies, and, they took off decently well. I got a little bit of a following with them and decided to keep it up, and it just sort of grew over time. And so that's what I sort of shifted to as the years went on.
Your content kind of like changed though into like the whole all that like
Yeah,
movie
it changes
and
over time. I think it probably will kind of ebb and flow a bit. Just the things I'm interested in sort of change, um, and the things I want to make videos on really probably change a little bit.
yeah, no, that makes sense. No, you don't have to. Obviously, you don't got to say your real name, but why did you choose the name Rags? Like, does that mean something?
No, there's really no real meaning behind it. I don't really know exactly where the name came from. It just seemed like a funny, simple dog name, and I just heard it, maybe the word, and I was just like, maybe that's it. I'm gonna go with that, but I can't actually remember the origins of the name.
Okay.
But I don't think it was anything like it's not anything insightful or meaningful or anything like that. Just a little
Uh,
name.
yeah, because you're a cute, adorable Shiba Inu, presumably, unless I'm being lied to, by but or whatever. So sometimes it's actually like like as of late, it's been kind of difficult to kind of search your name up, not because you're like Shadowban or anything, hopefully, but it's because there's like another YouTuber named TRA Rags, and then like sometimes I just get him. Yeah, that's kind of like something I noticed.
Yeah.
So yeah, TR. So so actually, how did you get your start on EFAP? Like, how did y'all like? How did that happen?
After The Last Jedi came out,
Yeah,
Mauler made a video about it, and that video really kind of took off, helped to super push his career along, which is excellent. But that video is how I discovered him and found out about him. I think I sent him a message, and we had just a chat talking about it. It'll stream on my channel; it's still up.
uh,
And then I guess we gelled pretty well together. We wanted to make a podcast, do something like that, and so that's yeah. And then we had Wolf who was there, and they
uh,
had known each other, and I think I knew about him before. I forget exactly the timeline of events, but just kind of a bit of a coincidence of us sort of meeting up, doing a podcast of not too long after it became EFAP, and then it just took off, and we kept going forward, and we stuck it through, and now Fringy's a co-host, and we've got no plans of stopping.
Fringy. But yeah, but yeah. Well, yeah. No, the good thing I said. Speaking of Ryan Johnson, because like it was gonna circle back to the Last Jedi eventually. Uh, I was talking to ER the other day. Well, not the other day, like a couple, like 2 weeks ago. And I said this to him, and I'm gonna say this to you, but it is actually insane, like in like the YouTube like lore or like the YouTube like landscape. It's really incredible how much The Last Jedi did. Like it actually legit caused such a thing. It legit caused a civil war that's still going on to this day, because there's fucking people still defending that film, but we don't got to worry about that. We don't got to talk about that. But and Last Jedi started all these careers. You can argue that it skyrocket. Yeah, you said it skyrocketed Mauler's career, which in turn made EFAP, and that also made people like Drinker popular,
Well,
Nerd
I
Rock.
think even if he wasn't popular, we might have done a podcast. It's just his video taking off is what allowed me to even discover who he was. So those things just sort of went together.
How did I discover Mauler actually? Oh yeah,
Uh,
I watched his Captain Marvel video of all things. Um, but yeah, it's just it's really like crazy to think about like how much damage the Last Jedi did, or and like to the internet and also to just general things. I'm not gonna go into it now, but I think me and a lot of people and people that I talked to we actually came to a conclusion. This is a bit hyperbolic, but generally speaking, Last Jedi might be the worst film, like of all time, like generally speaking. And yeah, there's objectively worse things out there. Like I don't know,
That's
fucking
reasonable if that's like if you would say that's your least favorite movie of all time, or if it's the one you hate the most. It's pretty reasonable. It did irreparable
but
damage to Star Wars.
but but
It
but
really
not
was quite
but
enough.
not just that. Like me and other people in ER, we like kind of decoded something. And when like just the amount of damage, not just to Star Wars, but just in general, is actually fucking insane. We're gonna start off small. It ruined half the actors, kind of. Like, what the fuck has Daisy Ridley been up to? Like, she's just gone.
Well, I don't think it. I don't think. I think that's just her not being a good actress.
Yeah, she sucked
That's
that.
on her.
Yeah, she sucked as in Chaos Walking. You know, the Tom Holland
No,
film.
no, I don't know. I haven't
Uh,
seen it.
It was a film that came out in 2021. It was based on a book series. Co-star was Tom Holland. The film fucking flopped really hard.
Yeah, I
Um,
just never saw it. I think I may have heard of it, but never looked it up.
but yeah, like Daisy, yeah, she's not a good actress, but if the film was like serviceable, her bad acting wouldn't have been that much of a problem. It would have been a problem, but I like there could have been something salvaged there. But the film was just that bad, anyways.
Okay.
So there's that. John Boyega, at first you could say he made it out fine, but he's been kind of doing shitty as of late.
Well, I think at first people were very sympathetic with his character, and then he made it a big social deal and did all that stuff, and really was, saying stuff about Disney and the way that his character was treated, and he did his own thing. So who knows what will become of him? I just don't really see his name popping up much anymore.
He starred in a film that you've definitely never heard of called Woman King. Uh, so, and that film did fantastic. So, it's fucking was shit. And yeah, he started in a new Netflix film called They Cloned Tyrone. I don't know if that's good or not, but yeah, he's been kind of rather sporadic as of late. Oscar Isaac he's doing just fine.
Yeah, he's doing well. He's a very talented actor. I always like to see him in things. He has a good ability to. So I mean, Moon Knight. Really, even though that show was hot garbage, it had probably the best potential for a Disney show, and it came the closest to being good at times, but ultimately it was terrible. But he really got to showcase what he can do as an actor, playing two different characters essentially. Huge emotional range, ability to be serious and sad and pensive, and yeah, I have a great deal of respect for him as an actor. He's super good. He's one of the really good ones.
Yeah. Even though Moon Knight sucked, I think episode 5 of Moon Knight, you could actually say that's like unironically good, right?
I don't know. It's definitely the best of the episodes. It has something it's trying to do. I don't think it's really supported much by the rest of stuff. It's like this little good thing in this terrible shell. But it was certainly interesting to watch because there were parts of it that I was really, you could really tell that Oscar was doing his best to service the script and the story. It's the most interesting episode, certainly.
No, yeah. But yeah, well, apart from that, Moon Knight was fucking ass. Fucking Rose Tico. I forgot the actress's name. That's how much I forgot. I just fucking.
I forget her name. Yeah.
She's been in nothing. I have not seen her. Fucking. I know Mark Hamill's already famous, but I think there's like a little ripple effect going on there.
I mean, he's got stuff he'll be doing. I think he's in Mike Flanagan's Follow the House of Usher. So, well, I'm excited to see that because, anything Mike Flanagan puts out instantly, gets an interest from us. He's made some amazing stuff.
Yeah, I love Mike Flanagan.
Yeah.
Wait, actually, one thing I noticed about Mike Flanagan is that he has an obsession with houses.
I mean,
he loves
me too. I mean, I live in one. I love it. It's it's a great place to be. I spend a lot of my time there. Yeah, I really love houses. I might say that I am obsessed.
No, no. I mean, well, it's like all of Mike Flanagan's stories are like about like like something happens in like a house, what was the one about the deaf girl called? Oh, Hush. Hush, it's a house invasion thing. Oculus, that's also like a haunted house thing. Haunting of Hill House, that's a it's a house. Bly Manor, that's about a haunted house. He made a Netflix show called Midnight Club, that's also about a, a haunted house. And you said it's called House of Falling Usher.
The fall is an Edgar Allan Poe story. It's the fall of the House of Usher.
Now, given that title, that could either mean the home of Usher or like house as in like the like family, like because a house is like what you call a
Yeah,
family.
that's true. It could mean either of those things. That's right.
But yeah, Mike Flanagan seems to have like a thing with houses. Um, so if you
Yeah,
gotta
I mean, it's better than Tarantino's thing with feet. That's for certain.
um, but so what? So one thing that I noticed, like, is, there's like a lot of disagreements. You guys were talking about Mike Flanagan, so I remembered something. So what is like some things in like EFAP, like between like the three co-hosts, being you, Mahler, and Fringy, that y'all just like vehemently disagree with? Like you're like when Mahler says this, you're like ill, or like when you say this to like Fringy or Mahler, they're like ill, gay, or what's like some disagreements that y'all have?
I
Like
don't
some real,
think we have any
like some
substantial or vehement disagreements. If we do have disagreements, normally, unless it's purely subjective or just a matter of taste, we try to hash it out on the spot. We try to get to an answer or a resolution, which oftentimes we do. We get little, we have minor disagreements on things. Some elements about art and what is art and what constitutes as art. We did a EFAP not too long ago covering somebody who was talking about art, and we've had conversations with Destiny about it, and we have some disagreements there, but they're not really big disagreements. But ultimately, I think we're kind of like-minded, but we want to sort of tackle disagreements if we have them on air or in super chats, and we're not afraid, or we don't feel like it's in bad, I guess, in bad taste for us to address disagreements as they pop up. So when we get asked super chat questions, or when somebody says something and we have different takes on it, normally we explore it on the spot. So because we like that sort of thing, we like getting to I guess to the bottom of things. But a lot of the times it'll just be, what do you think tastes better? What do you think looks better? And we'll give our answers. But I don't think there's any really big disagreements. We don't have any like fundamental worldview, kind of stuff. I think we're all atheists. I think we're all fairly liberal. We're all, pretty, we're very pro free speech and stuff like that. So there's no
yeah.
real deep, fundamental, foundational elements that really would cause us to have big disagreements.
Even in stuff like media, for example, like an example is like, oh, let's say you like Sharknado, and Mahler is like, oh, that's fucking gay. It's like, no,
Well,
nothing.
if I like Sharknado as an example, if I said I liked it, I would probably say that like I like it, but it's really stupid, and he would say yes, it's really stupid, and it's not my thing, and I don't like it. But that would be as far as it goes, because that would be more in the realm of taste
But
and
like,
subjectivity.
objectively, like you two can agree that Sharknado is a fucking shit film.
I haven't seen it, but it probably is.
But there's no there's no like super big ones like disagreements in media like that
We
you three.
generally don't, because I think we view movies in a similar way, and we use very similar criteria, so we often will arrive at the same conclusions. I think I don't know, maybe the biggest disagreement we've had lately, at least at the beginning, was when we watched what's it called? Dead Reckoning. I came out of the theater way more positive than either of them did, but I think I did have a bit of a brain turny offy kind of thing, and I was just watching stuff, and I walked out like I enjoyed it, but I was really unsure about the characters and plot, like I knew stuff wasn't quite right. Then they brought up the problems, and I turned very quickly on it. When they gave me when they explained a lot of stuff, and we went through it. We had an old EFAP talking about it, and I was very active in listening or listing that film's issues. So typically we resolve stuff. We discuss things on the podcast. I think we're pretty open about that sort of thing.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, that's pretty interesting. It's just like that there's like no fundamental disagreements because like there's like there's like fans that kind of ask stuff like that like for and also I'm one of those people, by the way, that kind of like I'm like a fan of all three of you, but or there's some things from like Papito. One of my like core like fundamental disagreements that I have with EFAP is we'll talk about Mike Flanagan. I fucking hated Haunting of Hill House. Like I really did.
Yeah, why?
But interestingly enough, I liked Blind Manor.
Why did you really hate Hill House?
Okay, to be fair, maybe if I watched it again, well, now with like a
Maybe.
new, if with like a because right now, because I watched it like 3 years ago, like when it came out.
Yeah.
And back then I wasn't like super not educated. That makes you sound stupid, but like not like into.
We're getting
the whole-
really preambly. What did you not like about Hill House?
To me, it was just really fucking boring.
You think so? All right.
Yeah, it was just really fucking boring.
That's a shame.
The characters were like just dull as shit.
Yeah. I think you're totally off base here. I think the characters are fascinatingly interesting and very deep and well developed, and they're all so different from one another. I think it's
yeah.
an
So
excellent character work.
so
That's
so
in those.
so I'm actually like because of that, I'm willing to say that maybe because I watched it so long ago. Like legit like the month it came out. Not even kidding. Maybe if I watched it now with this whole new like mentality, because back then I wasn't like super jaded. Now I'm pretty jaded when it comes to media. I'm really fucking harsh when it comes to like media and shit. I'm like really generally like I discredit things so hard. You can say that's a problem, but right now I'm like really pessimistic when it comes to media. Which can you really blame me? And so perhaps if I were to watch it again, like now with this new mindset, maybe I would like Hill House.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I would hope so. It's with the exception of the last episode being bad, it's really got incredible character work. The acting is phenomenal. I think it's super good. So being able to recognize how good the character work is in that show is going to be really important for understanding what makes characters good and how to really develop them over time and the relationships that they have with other people. And it gives you a sense of almost predictability in a good way, where if you sort of understand how a character is and what their personality is and the things that they care about, then it shows this element of like I said, a minor predictability to what they're doing. They're not just this wild card that can do anything at any time.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm willing to say that I'm probably wrong here because again, it was like such a
You are,
while
yeah.
ago. Okay, thanks, Rex.
But why did you like it? I guess it strikes me as odd if you really didn't like Hill House, but you really liked Bly Manor. Is that what you said?
Yeah, I enjoyed Blind Manor.
I'm glad. Bly Manor is fucking incredible. It's fantastic. So
Because
yeah.
again, it's because the thing is like between Haunting of Hill House and Blind Manor, there was like a fat hiatus. So I was already more in like a more, Nirvana state of things when I watched Blind Manor, so I could actually recognize, things. I did have problems with Blind Manor, obviously. Like I felt like they were trying a bit too hard with like explaining the supernatural. Like, that was really cringe in my opinion. And also the fact that despite explaining that, the fact that all like the unique ghosts, like the man with the glasses, and the evil version of the God, I'm already forgetting names. We're doing great right now. The evil version of the dad and like all that are just like hallucinations that kind of put me off a tiny bit because like I get it, character shit, but this is a fucking haunted house show. I'm expecting some ghosts, like right. And also like,
I mean, haunted house don't have to have ghosts. I mean, it can be. I mean, essentially, you can have. You could really do anything. Curses could apply to people who are alive. It could just be some sort of spatial phenomenon around the house, which is essentially what happens in Bly Manor. It's just that it affects people, when they die. So it's there's a lot of ways to go with it. I mean, I love a good haunted house. I love a good curse.
Yeah,
But
it just kind of felt like they were just doing like the same thing multiple times, but while also actually showing that there is in fact real supernatural beings like the faceless lady, and also some of the other like unique ghosts like the plague doctor. That was just fucking like nothing. Like they kept showing him throughout the
no, it
episode,
wasn't nothing. There wasn't
but
nothing.
I mean he just kind of died. Like he was just like a thing, and then we just found out that he's just some random dude.
Well, no. That's not something that should be dismissed. I mean, every single person there, except for the faceless lady. I forget her name. Veronica or something. I forget. But each and every one of those is a victim of the effect that of her and that house in the area. You don't have to know their specific backstories to. I mean, it's really a shame, I guess, that you came up with that sort of takeaway that he's just some guy, or that it didn't lead to anything. I mean, he's a victim who's living this horrific existence as a result of the curse,
Yeah,
just
but
like every single other person who's in that house, because we see what it does to certain people, and so every time someone dies around the area, the curse will apply to them, and typically basic human empathy kicks in, and it's like, oh shit, like I don't know who this person is, but they're going through a terrible, horrible experience, and they're who they are as a person is just being wasted away. All their memories and their experiences are just slowly but surely fading away, and they're turning into this just husk of what a person really is, and that's a terrible, horrible thing. And you don't really have to know them or their backstory to feel incredible sorrow at that
I, gue-
happening.
I guess, but I don't know. I just felt like the way the show did it was like, at least with him, like the plague doctor was just like, all right, well, we just getting things done. Like, okay, this what like we forgot that.
Definitely not getting things done. It definitely wasn't forgotten. That they show just him specifically in the episode that alluded to some of the deaths there. I don't know. Did you like want a whole episode on each and every one of them, or like what exactly were you looking for here?
I don't know. I don't
Because
know.
we
To
got
be,
specific ones, but but we can't do that for everyone.
I don't know. It's just, like I just felt like at least with Blind Manor, like the supernatural aspect was like super fucking like like it was like simultaneously toned down but also toned up. Like it's like really
I
it's
mean,
like a
it was way more overt, but I don't think
yeah.
it was as good. I think Blind Manor did it better.
Yeah, it's like a weird thing. Like it's somehow toned down, but also not. It's like a weird awkward
Well,
middle.
it's
But
more
that was like
well, no, it's far more psychological and thoughtful.
yeah, like
It's a lingering kind of horror. It's not just a spooky floating ghost with an umbrella who
I'm
is
not
like,
saying
oh,
that's
that's
a
creepy.
I'm not saying that's a bad thing. It's just like but like there already is like the actual overt one, so like might as well just use both. You know what I'm saying? Don't completely abandon one. Like you know what I'm talking about.
No, I don't know what you mean. Like, are you saying that in Blind Manor? Wait. It was overt in Blind Manor. She fucking chokes people to death and kills them and drags them into the water.
Oh yeah, she does.
Yeah, there's like the whole yeah. It's like it's a horrific thing that where she actually can go out and kill people. Yeah, if you get in her way, she'll kill you
I don't
violently.
know. Like maybe like again, it was a while ago. Like, but I just kind of felt that I don't know. Like maybe they were just being a bit too like scarce. Like, but I understand what they were going for. Like, this is more of a subjective thing. I'll admit that because I'm more of a like because I'm like trying to be a aspiring writer right now.
All right.
I actually have a fucking book published. And I'm working on the second one. I'm more of like a my style of writing definitely is more of like like it's more content based. Like obviously I'm not neglecting characters and shit like that. Fuck no. And that's kind of a mistake I did with the with my first book, the one that I published. So right now I'm actually trying to go like basically everything I write, like every book I'll write will just have like a completely different. I'm trying to do like something different. Book like my first book is like super just like super over the top type shit. We like it was, and then the second book is like a kids fantasy kind of thing. It's like one shots. I'm basically kind of doing a lot of different things to kind of
All right.
show that I can I'm literally I can do anything. And one thing you'll see in all these books is that I'm definitely more of a content kind of person. Like I love showing things. I like whoa, look at this. I like you could say that's a problem maybe, but I don't know. Like
I mean,
my
I wouldn't call it as being more content
it's,
than being less overt. I wouldn't confuse overtness with being more content.
it's like what I'm trying to
Because
explain.
oftentimes it's less. Things that are
It's like
overt are often just what they are, and they're nothing more and nothing less. But something like Bly Manor, for instance, it's lingering and it sticks with you. And in a sense, that's more content.
yeah, it's just like what I'm trying to like explain is that I'm more I like showing things like just like these fucking insane things like I like and and even in like the like that'll get progressively less obvious like once because I'm trying to do different things here, but like that's just kind of my general writing style. And so maybe
Alright.
maybe because of that, maybe like I didn't appreciate Blind Manor at the time. Uh, I mean, I still like Blind Manor. Like Haunting of Hill House, that one's the one I got reconciled. That one's the one I got to reconcile
I
with.
think so. If you are an aspiring writer in particular, and you want to write good characters, and you want to have excellent examples of good characters that are well written, I think paying attention to that one is going to be it's going to be really really good because you get such a wide variety. You know,
Yeah,
you just the different everyone from the father to the kids. It's just everyone's different, even though they're sort of in the same or similar scenarios with their own differences. Obviously, Luke is going to be different from the dad, and I forget a lot of the names, but the sister who can't touch people. Luke has his drug addiction, and he has the closest connection with his sister who died. And of
but
course, the father and the mother, and how he blames himself, and all the spookiness surrounding it, and his inability to necessarily connect with the kids and explain to them what's happening. And of course, the writer, the writer's son, who's trying to, he's making some money off of the thing, and he's made some, not so savory decisions, for money, but he's complex scenarios kind of all around.
he's so me. No, I'm kidding. Uh, but yeah, like I gotta do some reconciling with Haunting of Hill House because it does kind of clash with my writing style because like I said, my writing style is more focused on uh like again like let me try to explain this like when I say content, like what I just basically mean like fucking let me put this in a way like fucking JJ Abrams basically like as much as I don't like him anymore that much JJ Abrams, but I'm it is kind of shameful to admit that he is a very huge part of how I write, to be honest. Like it's like even if like saying that now is kind of a because he's been kind of fucking up as of late, but like JJ Abrams is like a kind of a huge part in how I write. So and seeing how how he operates, or like I hope at least I think you kind of get what I'm saying, right?
Sort of.
Okay, so like it's like like okay, the phrase like mystery box, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's like I don't think JJ Abrams made it, but it's like very synonymous with JJ Abrams. Like
Yeah.
it's just a lot of like and
It's a
basically
big style of his his storytelling
yeah,
vibe.
and yeah, and like a lot of like JJ like in shit like Lost, Fringe, Fringy, Fringe, the Cloverfield films, and fuck it, Force Awakens. There's like JJ Abrams just throws in shit. Like he just throws in a lot of shit. And Lost being the best example of this. Like in the first episode, I think JJ just fucking throws a polar bear. In the first episode, but then you're like, wait, how the fuck is a polar bear in a tropical island? Boom, mystery box. And when I say content, that's kind of what I'm trying to say. Like I'm just more like, whoa, what the fuck is that? Or whoa, do you think like the like I'm very bombastic. So maybe
I probably wouldn't call that content.
yeah,
Probably come up
exactly.
with something else to call that. I mean, if like suspense, mystery, I maybe call it like setups or something. I wouldn't call that content because
Yeah,
asking a question isn't really like much content, especially
yeah,
not compared to what the payoffs or explanations are supposed to be.
Yeah, I just say content is like a fucking filler word.
It's
But
not a good one to have in these circles. I'd
yeah, I
find a
know.
new filler word.
I know. um, yeah, but he's kind of like, but that's kind of what I'm saying. I'm like it's like a bombastic kind of style of writing. And that maybe that's perhaps why I don't like Hill House. So I might have to do some reconciling there. Like maybe if I watched it now, I'd probably be like, damn, that's some shit. That's some good ass shit. But hey, I liked Blind Manor, so maybe with that.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. So yeah, you're yeah. There's hope for you yet. That's right.
okay.
You're not lost.
No relation. No relation. Another thing I already said that I disagreed with was Thor Ragnarok. But we want to like we gotta do that. This one isn't really a disagreement. It's just something I noticed. Why do I not like Winter Soldier?
What's there to? There's not really much to like, is there?
Yeah,
I mean, the
like
plot, the characters are with. I mean, the characters consistently make incredibly stupid decisions. The plot makes no sense whatsoever. It's virtually nonsense. The fights are really bad. The Black Widow stuff's pretty good at the beginning, but there's really virtually nothing of value to be found in that movie.
I
Um,
really
it's
like
really bad.
I don't remember much about the film, but one thing I do remember, like one that kind of, like that pissed me off was the whole Zola being in the computer, meaning that Hydra has infected the whole thing the whole time, and that causes
Infected what?
Shield has
Oh,
been
Hydra's in Shield. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
like quite literally infected, and
Well, no,
Hydra
not literally, but yeah,
or infiltrated
yeah,
that yeah that
yeah. Since
uh
yeah, it's neat.
and that causes like so much plot holes. It's not even funny.
Could you name a couple?
The big like the main one, for example, being well, these two kind of fall in line, but they're kind of like different. Why was Hydra fine with letting the enemy of them, Captain America, just kind of run around? Maybe, but granted, they couldn't do much on him, but I mean, I don't know, like they were just
I have to refamiliarize myself with the movie because I've only seen it the once those years ago. But I think it had something to do with allowing them to be strong enough to where they can build up a certain amount of power, so that then they could exercise their influence and then kind of flip it. They needed Shield to be guided to be super strong because they didn't. They virtually had no. They had no overt power anyway. Hydra did. They're all like hidden and in the secret. So they were pretty much biding their time for Shield to get really strong, so that
so
then
I
they could take over with the
so
technology once it became good enough.
so I assume that might be the answer for the second one that I was gonna say, which is bro, they have the fucking Tesseract. like if Hydra's been infecting, like they just completely forgot that the Tesseract was just in Shield's hands.
Or they were using it, or they had their eyes on it. I'd have to double check, but potentially it depends on how the Tesseract would be used and to what purpose. As long as Shield had it and it was around, they could use it whenever they want. But ultimately, I think their big thing was making sure Shield did really get strong so that they could be taken over. But again, I'd have to watch it over. But I don't think those are issues. I think for the most part, it's generally a lot of plot stuff. The characters suck. A lot of stupid decisions everywhere, kind of all the time. It's kind of a nonsense film once you look, into it. I mean, some of the Bucky and Captain America stuff was good, between them personally. But
Yeah,
yeah, like I don't hate it. It's a really bad movie.
yeah,
There's
and
some good things, I guess, about it. I guess I
yeah,
was being hyperbolic when I said there's nothing of value. There's some good stuff, some Black Widow stuff. The Bucky Cap, relationship
but
has some good parts in it.
yeah, I'm still kind of sus about the Hydra stuff though. Like, I feel like there had to be some issue, like because it's still like interesting to think that this like Hydra, like even though they have no overt power, they still had enough power to take over the Victor. So I felt like there had to be some kind of issue, and maybe I'm just misremembering, but I swear to Christ that there was no like any like semblance of foreshadowing. Like that shit legit came out of nowhere. Like the
Foreshadowing
only
for what? For
like
Zola being
like
alive?
Yeah, like or like Hydra being like in the Avengers. Like the only kind of foreshadowing was
Yeah,
in the
that
actual film.
it's. I think it's fine to not have foreshadowing for that. If and let's assume that there was no foreshadowing whatsoever. I don't think it's unreasonable to say that this whole time there have been remnants of Hydra that have been working secretly behind the scenes to infiltrate government organizations, especially given what they were capable of doing. I think it's fine to have a reveal. I mean, it is of course neat to have a setup for that, but it depends on what the setup is, because some people might consider the first Captain America movie to be like the setup and foreshadowing. And again, I don't know if there are specific lines or references or things that people say that sort of imply they're going to do this. I just can't remember, but even assuming there was none whatsoever, except for their introduction in the first Captain America movie, I think that would be all right given the nature of their subversion.
Yeah, it's not really the biggest problem, but it's just something that I kind of noticed that it's good to have. Sometimes it's good to have a reveal without any buildup, but I don't know, like something as big as this, like I don't know, like maybe some kind of buildup would have worked. It's not really the worst thing, but I don't know, like it still feels like kind of a lot. And also, like the average MCU film, the Hydra thing was resolved in this film. I mean, yeah, there's Agents of Shield, but no one talks about that.
I
And
mean, it's 2 movies worth of content, right? I mean, and ultimately we're looking at the bookends of Hydra. We're looking at how they began in the 40s, arguably earlier. But and then we see the end where they try and enact their big plan and play their cards, and ultimately it results in the dissolution of Shield. It's a really big deal. The dreadnoughts crashing down. It's a big event. It's a big event, and of course
yeah,
for Captain America, it gives him a huge change in his character with how he views organizations and structures of that nature, which sets him up for how he behaves in Civil War. So I definitely wouldn't say that it felt like it was just done and that's it.
yeah,
It was a
but
whole
yeah, but
movie.
like yeah, but even then, like you could still like continue. Like there's just still a lot to talk about.
I mean, you
Like
could, but that's not what they chose to do. I mean, a lot of
like
the stuff did get settled and finished, and they had a movie that they did it in.
I guess, but like that's just the problem with the MCU in general, like and including Winter Soldier, that they just kind of like, and yeah, with Hydra
That's
there's
not a
like
problem. He and Winter
two.
Soldier.
I mean with Hydra, right? Like yeah, there's 2 films, but even then,
Two
like
films.
Hydra infiltrating like Shield, like you could like
Yep.
talk about that for ages.
You could. Yeah. I mean, you. I guess you could, but I
Like
mean, their whole
there was
point
like
was to be
it felt like
secretive and
wasted.
subversive.
It
So,
felt like wasted potential.
maybe I guess. Yeah. I mean, they obviously could have done it better quality wise, which is where I'd say the wasted potential is just the quality of what they decided to do, not that we didn't have more time to explore it.
I mean, I don't even know if I like the film, to be honest, because like, I don't even know if I like the film so.
No. All
Uh,
right.
yeah, like that's why I said in the beginning that I don't know if this counts as disagreement because
All
I'm
right.
not even
Yes, fair. Yeah.
sure. But, uh,
I think the
because
more you look
like
at it, the worse it gets, unfortunately,
yeah,
which is a shame.
yeah, and a lot of people say this is like the shit, like this is like the
A lot of
sex,
people love it. I mean,
yeah.
it has it's got the vibes. It definitely puts out the sort of action, adventure-y kind of, vibe. But ultimately,
I wish
yeah.
I wish Black Widow was that. God
I
damn.
mean, yeah, Black Widow could have been a super cool spy Mission Impossible 1-esque secret agent kind of thing where she's trying to do something personal to her or tackle an issue that she finds important, and it could be a big exploration of her character, how she deals with what her family really are when they are sort of at odds with her, and how she views the Avengers and what she's going to do. And there's all sorts of stuff they could have done with the Black Widow movie that would have been interesting, but they decided to do what they did, and it was shit,
Yeah,
and no one talks about it, and no one will ever rewatch it. So,
yeah, like God, that was such an embarrassment, dog. Like God. And also, this is more of like a nerd complaint, but and one that's been done to death. But God, why did they fuck Taskmaster, dog? Like I know the MCU has never been comic accurate, like fine, but this is something that Nerdrotic says all the time. But dude, just steal. Like there's sometimes you can steal. Like like Taskmaster was perfectly laid for y'all. Like like the whole conflict about him like gaining more powers, but like he loses his memories. Like that could have been so interesting to see. Like just such a broken down individual. You know, and and he's and we don't even know if he's willing to fight Black Widow because maybe like his memories has just been so fucked. But there's like some humanity in there, you know. And we know they knew that because the Taskmaster we got in the film was also a silent robot, weird just emotionless thing, kind of like the comic version. But the comic version still had some memories left. So there could have been like the cool like there's you just still have some good you know.
Well, they already did
But
that with Bucky, so it would have been weird for them to do that again.
I get yeah, but at the same time there was still like that's still way fucking better
And also,
than
I
what.
guess just to be clear, I don't mean that in the sense of like it would be bad because of that. I mean like what they could have done with Taskmaster if it was just another Bucky who copies people. I feel like that's like oh okay. I feel like we're kind of retreading here. I think the big
Perhaps
problem with Taskmaster is the Taskmaster doesn't use her powers except like once really, and that's it.
yeah.
The whole gimmick of that character, I don't mean that in a derogatory way, but the whole gimmick of that character is that they see things, they copy it, and that makes them an interesting villain that our heroes have to overcome in creative and interesting ways. But they don't do anything with that. I think it
Legit.
was just a nature of, oh, this is a character from the comics, we'll put him in the movie, that'll sell tickets because people like to see comic book stuff in movies, and I think that's as far as it went creatively.
Yeah.
They threw one fish to the seals in terms of the one move that they did, but that's ultimately it.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, though, even if it would be a retread of Winter Soldier, I honestly would have rather just seen that because whatever they did here is just fucking shit. So like we're that low. Like that, I'd rather just see that than whatever the fuck they did here. Because clearly they can't think of any original ideas themselves. Because this is what we get. So uh, also a small nitpick, but people say that Taskmaster did a Spider-Man move. I did not remember that. So um, also another thing with the Black Widow is I I thought the Red Room was just gonna be like a thing. Like obviously it was gonna be a big organization, obviously. But Poppy, why is it a fucking sky like yo yo? Why is it this whole thing like this giant sky fortress? Pretty kind of over, and I swear this film was marketed as
Well,
like
yeah,
a
it
more.
doesn't make a lot of sense. It's pretty fucking it is unbelievable that that thing could just float around the world without anybody noticing. I mean Tony Stark alone and just there's no way you can just float around in a big fucking spaceship like that essentially and have nobody detect you. That's
it,
just
it, mo-
nonsense. People will just
it,
look up and they'll see it.
it moves around, right? They said.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it moves around, and
Oh
people can just look up and see it. It's not invisible.
yeah, it's a fucking giant needle. Like
Even without the Avengers, if the Avengers weren't even a part of that world, we would have just noticed it. We would have seen it from space. We have satellites. We have radar. We have people flying around. We check our airspace. It's nonsense. It was super stupid to have it be a big floating fortress instead of some vast underground abandoned Soviet bunker or World War One complex that got refitted, or just something secretive in the mountains. Something, you know.
yeah, this film was marketed more like I swear this film was marketed like a down to earth kind of thing, like a more for MCU standards at least, like more realistic. But no, we got we got the Sky Fortress, and that was kind of the same problem I had with Shang-Chi as well. Another film that people say it's good, but I don't see it. It's just like
Uh, Let me see. So, yeah, yeah.
yeah, like I
Look
like
it up.
like Shang cheese or whatever.
Shang-Chi.
Like
Never saw
yeah.
it.
Oh, you know. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Nope.
I
Didn't see
remember.
that one. Yeah.
I remember you said that in that video. It looks like you still haven't after like 2 years. um, I remember you got like fucking spoiled to all fuck by the others because you didn't see it.
Boop doo.
So, but yeah, like that's kind of, but yeah, like that's just Black Widow could have been the, Winter Soldier, but good, but nah.
Yeah, I guess it could have been similar. Yeah, similar vibes, similar espionage kind of vibes.
So, but yeah, another like kind of question I had is something to actually do with the fucking podcast. So obviously there's been several I guess and like enemies and just bad faith critics. I don't know. Throughout the show, we got your synthetic man and shit. Who would you say is like the one that actually like gave you a tumor, like because of how insane the reach was. It doesn't even have to be an attack on EFAP. It's just like a general like just stupid like because so like synthetic man. I don't think he necessarily attacked EFAP, but
Yeah, he did. He attacked us. Yeah, he absolutely did.
but like initially like y'all responded to the God of War video and then
Yeah, it was a shit tier review by a terrible human being.
yeah, that's what I was talking about. Like synthetic man didn't like necessarily start. But the video was just so bad that y'all just had to do it. And then
He said some really bad stuff about Mahler. And I think he did reference EFAP. He said, if he came on EFAP, he would say certain things about me and certain things about Fringy, obviously referring to his blackness and my bisexuality, and stuff about Jay as well. So yeah, and a lot of the disparaging comments about Mahler liking the game as well. So yeah, he's just a really horrible person. He's terrible at his job, and he seems to be a terrible human. So
oh yeah,
I'm surprised he's not banned already for a lot of the stuff he's saying. It's really, really vile stuff.
okay, I didn't know all about that. So yeah, get some new information, I guess, for me. But yeah, like, so wait, would you say synthetic man is the worst like one you've ever faced?
I think
Like,
so. I think it's like it's kind of. I mean, the guy, he's just a nasty. I don't know if he's a white supremacist. He's racist. He's anti-Semitic. He's clearly homophobic. But he's actually all those things. You a lot of the times you list those words out and they're just buzzwords and labels that people throw out. But he's actually those things. He's legitimately a terrible person.
So synthetic. So I actually made this joke to ER, but synthetic man is what people say EFAP is. Like synthetic man is like y'all, but for real.
I mean, yeah, I guess so. Yeah, he's actually the thing. He's what the real thing sort of looks like. And I mean, he served as a wake up call for a lot of people to remind them that I don't think there's that many, but there really are people out there who just really like hate black people and who hate gays and they're foul people. And like I said, I'm shocked he's still allowed on YouTube after the things he said.
Yeah, and also it's like for like a more smaller scale thing. Synthetic man is kind of like a wake up call to people who'd like dislike EFAP as like you guys. You see, we're not.
I mean,
safe.
I would hope that people can see the way that we treated him. And
you're like guys, we're not safe from fucking like these kind of people. Like nah, like what like the white nationalists also hate EFAP. Believe it or not. Because would you say like synthetic man is like the worst of them all?
Yeah, I think so.
There's some contenders, but I don't know if they're like as bad.
I don't know, like Movie Bob's up there, because he has that kind of evil streak in him about hating so many people. But I think
Movie Bob is. What even is Movie Bob? Like I know a lot about him. Like I know his like beliefs and shit, but like generally, what the fuck? What is Movie like metaphysically? What the fuck is Movie Bob?
I don't know. He thinks very highly of himself. He thinks he's the Ubermensch. He's a very, very self-assured, very, very confident man who has very bad opinions on a lot of things and isn't particularly talented at anything, apparently. But I don't know. He's just really angry, really bitter.
I remember watching a video by this woman named Procrastitara. She's I don't know if she's like a part of like the whole EFAP crowd, but I know she's very inspired by y'all. She read Movie Bob's books on video.
Who is this Procrastitara?
Let me. I'm probably
Procrastitara.
I'm probably
Oh,
butchering.
okay. I think I found it. 66,000 subs. Let's see.
She is very much inspired by the EFAP community, but I don't think she is a part of that.
All right, yeah. Let me take a look here. Oh,
Yeah, she's also a long man, you could say, because her videos on Harry Potter and Batwoman are fucking long as shit.
all right. I'll give her a look. I'll check some of her stuff out there.
But yeah, like I saw her videos on. She made a lore dump video pretty much on Movie Bob, and she also made videos reading Movie Bob's books. And goddamn, Movie Bob's god.
Yeah, I've seen some. I've seen some very interesting, uh, quotes from it.
Yeah, like God, yeah. So yeah, it's between Movie Bob and Synthetic. Like they're kind of polar opposites. It's kind of interesting.
No, I think they're kind of similar. They might be on different sides, so to speak, but they're kind of a similar person. They think very, very highly of themselves when they are very mediocre people at best. Um, and they're just foul. They're very hateful. So yeah.
Yeah, and of course, I think some other contenders are, or like I don't know, maybe you don't think those contenders, but like is like the two that I can think of right off the bat is Jack Saint and Organized Chaos. Jack Saint, I remember that whole debacle. That was pretty nasty. Uh, and Organized Chaos. You only made one video on him, but the reason why I kind of count as a contender is because he just doesn't stop. If you
Yeah,
check his,
one
if you,
video on the main channel, but I've done a number on Dog Bites.
oh yeah, you've done like 3, I think.
Something like that.
But like that, but the reason why I kind of consider him like a contender is because he just doesn't stop. Like if you check his channel, all he does is just videos on fucking Mauler, Drinker, Nerdrotic, you. Like it's a
Yep, he's
disparate.
part of that crowd. He's part of that circle who's very, very. They go after them constantly. It seems to be like all they do is go after the same 4 people over and over and over. It's
Yeah,
pretty sad, but
yeah.
I guess
If
it's what they want to
it,
do.
yeah, and if you check his videos, you can see that 99% of the comments are just like, "Stop, like stop, please." Um, like
I
you
guess
need,
that's what. Yeah, I guess that's what they do.
yeah, it's just
Uh,
so yeah, like, but overall, like people that y'all have like talked about in the channel, Synthetic Man is probably like the number one worst like person ever. Which honestly valid on like that he seems like he would deserve that title. What do you like?
yeah.
What do you even? Okay, like I didn't watch like that much of a video. I just kind of watched the aftermaths of like Synthetic Man and versus EFAP. But it like I never actually watched the actual like the video where y'all are responding to him. What did he exactly say? I know Synthetic Man sucks because I've seen the aftermath like in his other I've seen his other videos, but I never knew what he said about God of War. Like, well, what got such a reaction out of
He got
for you?
like all the characters wrong. He doesn't engage with the mechanics. He's just everything. Everything's wrong about it. It's a terrible review. It's misleading. He didn't engage with the game well. He totally misunderstood the characters in the story. He doesn't. He just like everything. I mean, just everything.
He kind of reminds me of he's like a white quantum TV.
I don't know. Maybe kind of in some ways.
I mean, oh, you know quantum TV, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I mean, both of them kind of do similar things. Like both do not engage with the games they're reviewing. Then both get really mad when a professional video game people uh like attack them. And also both of them have basically the same beliefs. Like Quantum TV is also like a homophobic like kind of person and
Yeah,
all
it seems
that.
to be.
And so Synthetic Man, and both of them are just kind of still spewing their weird crap all over, and they still haven't gotten banned somehow. So yeah, Synthetic Man is kind of like a white Quantum TV, honestly.
Maybe in some regards. I'm not sure how far I want to take the comparison.
But yes, so yes, that Synthetic Man was. Oh boy. But so he's like the worst of like I guess. And another thing about like EFAP is probably a hard episode, but what would you say is like the best in recent memory at least like the best like moment for EFAP like which episode was the one that like that was like just like the crowning achievement like just like the best like just peak content.
Mahler did a lot of work to compile the Synthetic Man stuff. He watched a lot of content, a lot of streams, a lot of videos to get that stuff together. He worked very hard to expose him. Uh, I think he's done the same thing with Hassan. Um,
Man of
and
Steel.
yeah, so it's tough to really say. I don't know. I think the way that we, did the Synthetic Man stuff was really good. Same thing with all the React stream content. I think we were really good with that.
Yeah.
It's really tough to say. I'm not really sure. I'd have to think about it more. But off the top of my head, those come to mind, but I'm
A
not
war
really sure.
a war that y'all are still fighting to this day apparently because
It pops its head up every once in a while, and we deal with it.
uh but this time this time it seems rather this time I think like this year it actually caused way more like there was more attention as of late like back in like
I
two
think
months
so. Yeah, I think so.
like,
I think the
like
XQC element really made it seem. It really made it big, helped it blow up a bit,
yeah
and
like
it may take a
I
while to sway people, but I think that sort of thing really does help.
I know Jack Films he's doing like a rather interesting strategy where he's basically just he's just binge watching Sniper Wolf with his audience and like he's basically just doing the same thing she's doing, fighting fire with fire, I guess. I know XQC appeared in y'all's podcast, uh which honestly I can't imagine how that must have felt. Just having this big ass streamer, not only that, but a shit one on the podcast. That must have felt simultaneously like the worst thing and the best thing ever. Because on the one hand, EFAP is becoming more and more, not mainstream, but like internet mainstream, you could say. Uh, but on the other hand, it's fucking XQC.
Uh,
So,
yeah, he's a crazy guy, crazy guy.
like, I gotta watch that video, but I can't imagine how. What I can't imagine at least tell me this. Was he as incomprehensible when talking to the three of you as he is in like his like videos, or did he
XQC
actually?
didn't talk to us. We didn't talk to XQC. Mahler did on Destiny stream.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, still got uploaded to the Mueller channel, which is what I thought. Um, but I wonder how incomprehensible I'm like. uh, but yeah, like, and also like another part of the React drama was the whole like Ethan Klein finally fucking stood up for himself and kind of like just like was slightly attacking Hassan because Hassan did the same thing, and also XQC and Ethan Klein were debating again like they usually do. Um, but yeah, that's just like a war that doesn't really seem to end. But to kind of get a bit of nuance, what do you think is like the border for like React content? Because EFAP is like technically that, but not really, because that is transformative. Like y'all
Mm,
keep pausing, like
weirdly
yeah.
transformative. Yeah.
So I assume like a good border would basically be like an example I like to use is a YouTube channel called Charmix, who was like a React channel. He's dead. He might be dead in real life too. Like he just kind of disappeared off the internet. Like that's a whole other thing though. But Charmix was like a React channel. He reacted to like memes and like Super Mario Logan. That's kind of what he became famous for. And the one thing that Charmix did is that like he would usually pause the video and either talk about like making like predictions, or it's just him talk like he's like even though he's young, So he would legit have like this old man energy, where like when he pauses, he just says like a story like, "This reminds me of when I was younger. I had like a pillow fort," and then he would like play the video, and he would just like laugh, like visibly laugh, and like just generally have a good time when reacting to like Super Mario Logan, and yeah, that's why I liked Charmix, because he actually, it felt like you were actually watching the video with him. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know if that counts as like bordering, but I'd say Charmix is a good example of a React channel, don't you think?
I don't know. I've never watched him. I'm just hearing about him for the first time like 10 seconds ago.
But yeah, that's kind of like the example I use. Yeah, it's understandable you haven't heard of him because he is dead. He, despite having a million subs, or like garnered a million subs, one day he just fucking disappeared off the internet. Like, if you check his channel, you only see that he has two videos, and they are really cryptic. So we don't know, we don't know what happened to him, but he's kind of the guy that I use when I want to talk about, like, like these kind of things. But yeah, like there's like a border there, and EFAP is like that, but to the max, where like as the name suggests, every frame will pause. Like the whole point, like the point isn't even to react to the video; it's just to talk about the video. And some people seem to not understand that, which is, I remember like the whole thing that happened like 3 days ago with Mahler's new Soka video, where this woman, I forgot her name, said some strange stuff. said some strange stuff about like Mahler stealing content, even though look who we're talking about.
Yep.
So, but so yeah, and so but back to talking about like media and shit. What is some like seeing how presumably you're also rather jaded in like media, maybe not as jaded, but what is some things in like the
Jaded.
past?
Let me see. How do you use jaded? Tired, bored, or lacking enthusiasm. It depends what kind of media. If it's Star Wars or Marvel, then yeah, I'm pretty jaded. Depends
But
on the
like,
project.
are you but maybe I'm just way too fucking pessimistic, but I'm just kind of unenthusiastic or jaded in like for like most things, to be honest, because even outside of like Disney, media has been kind of shit, like
Yeah,
Terminator's
a
fucking
lot of
dead.
bad stuff out there. It just
Term
depends on what it is, who's making it, what it's about. But
like
most
Term
stuff I just don't have an interest in at all.
like Terminator's dead. Like Game of Thrones is fucking dead.
Yep.
Uh, and I'm confident in saying that because one thing you probably know this, but one thing that people talk about is in like the first four seasons are like really good, right? Uh, and but you can argue that the show was gonna suck no matter what, because A, George didn't fucking write his shit, and B, they made small changes in like from the source material that later on in like the last couple seasons you could like now see the realized error, like it finally bit them, you know what I'm saying? And that's why the last couple seasons were so shit, because not only did they change it, but there was just no more books because George sucks. um but in
Well,
House of the
it was bad because it was badly written, not because I mean the books are completely irrelevant, really. I mean,
I mean,
most
yeah, but
seasons
like
are
the
written
last
not based off of books. So.
I mean, yeah, but like after but there's like a coincidence that the moment the D&D stopped writing, like stopped adapting books, that was the moment the show, because like even though season 5 is, people consider it good, you could tell there was like a noticeable dip in quality. And then it just never recovered, and then season 8 is haha. So the moment like there wasn't no more books, that's kind of when things started to change. um and that's kind of what's happening with House of the Dragon. People are talking about like there's like some really strange decisions they made regarding the source material, which is Fire and Blood, and because of that,
So just so you
perhaps.
know, I've seen like virtually no Game of Thrones, so I'm just
Yeah, so but I'm just kind of get like, that's why I'm going like kind of, um
all
but
right.
like but because of that, that same thing, it's gonna like turn shit. So I can say Game of Thrones is fucking dead, to be honest. And George still hasn't written. George R. R. Martin still hasn't written in what 14 years.
I don't know. But it's been a while, I suppose. That's the meme, but I don't follow him or the books or anything.
Yes, but The Witcher is also dead as fuck. It actually got so I don't know if you've seen the show, but I
No,
can guarantee
I have
you've heard
not
all
seen
about
the
it.
show. I mean, I've heard some things, but I don't. I have not seen the show. I don't really know anything about it.
All you need to know. I assume you know the whole like Henry Cavill shit, right?
Yeah, I've heard some stuff regarding him, and he seems to have a level of passion and care for the show and the characters when it happens in it. And he wants it to be taken seriously, which I
Yeah,
admire. I think Cavill's a really cool guy. He seems like a really neat dude.
yeah. If I could somehow get Cavill the same way that I get y'all, that'd be great. But yeah, he seems
Yeah,
like a cool.
good luck, man.
Um, but you're like all you need to know is that some rather recent news happened where, because the show was just so fucking bad, the author, Andreev Subkars, that name right, Andreev, basically he's like, you know what? I'm gonna make a book six, even though my books ended. I'm gonna make a sixth book.
Oh, that's good
I
that they inspired him.
Yeah, like he saw the amount of damage that the show caused, so he was like, okay, I gotta fix this. So yeah, expect the sixth Witcher book, I guess. Wheel of Time again. I don't know. There's a lot of fantasy that's just kind of dying. What the fuck is this? Wheel of Time is doing great right now. Really unfortunate to ruin fucking 12 books, I guess. And of course we got the big daddy pause. Rings of Power.
I think it's the most expensive show ever made, and it sucks. It's really, really bad.
Wait, really? Rings of Power is the most expensive show ever made?
Yeah, I think so.
Let me check. I know it was like a billion.
Well, that's not, they didn't spend that on the show. It's like the rights and the plan stuff. But I think it's like 650 million. It's a huge amount. I could double check. Rings of Power season 1 budget, $465 million. And it's
That's
only 8 episodes, I think. So
that's more. That's more than. That's more than most MCU films, or all of them actually.
oh yeah. They've spent about $1 billion, I think, but that's marketing, production, securing the rights, all that sort of thing. And yeah, Rings of Power is really shit. It is a terrible show. It sucks balls. That's why no one talks about it.
Yeah, apparently it's getting a season 2.
Yeah,
Uh,
their plan is to have like 5 seasons, something like
well,
that, but I don't know if that's actually ever gonna come to fruition because the first season was insanely expensive and it was not well received.
and not worth it at all. And also, they changed a lot of the source materials. So
I don't give a shit about them changing source material. Change whatever you want. It's just if you don't understand the changes you're making and it's not good what you make, then it's
it's be-
shit.
no, it's because the reason why this in this case it matters. Maybe I'm wrong, but apparently the show isn't like based on anything. It's
So it
act-
doesn't have to be based on anything.
it's like it's in the same way how Fantastic Beasts is like it's canon, and like go into the books. It's fucking weird. But the thing is that in the show they contradict the Silmarillion apparently. So
I don't care about that.
yeah, fair enough. But it's just like another
You can
reason why.
contradict whatever you want to do, change whatever you want, as long as it makes sense and as long as it's good. I mean, go for it. I mean, if you're going to buy the rights to Lord of the Rings, I would expect
Care.
um, some level of adherence to the source material because it's kind of what you're buying. That's the names and everything like that. That's sort of what we expect. Um,
But like
but
they
I mean, if it was totally different, then it was totally different, but really good. Then I would say, yeah, it's not like the Tolkien stuff at all, but it's really good. So I would praise the show.
But not only did they, piss off the fans, but they also pissed off normal people. So, so
Yeah, I don't know who it was made for. Didn't seem to be made for anybody. Just seemed to be a really bad show, and it's yeah. I'm curious what will happen in the second season.
imagine if it'd be funny as fuck if Rings of Power had like I don't know if you would get this. A Picard, because apparently Picard season 3 was fucking amazing.
I've heard it was. I've heard it's good. So yeah,
So maybe Rings of Power. Well, watch Rings of Power season 2 be like the best thing ever. That'd be fucking crazy.
well, I doubt it'll get much better. But I'm certainly ready for it to be worse. I doubt they've learned their lessons.
Yeah. Yeah. As you can see, the fantasy the fantasy genre is just fucking getting shot in the face. But we have two hopes right now for the fantasy genre, but I'll get to that later. Well, the original question, we got off topic there. Sorry. Is so like in like the most in like recent memory, like I'd say 1 or 2 years, no, fuck it, 3 years. What is something that that you've seen, like a show or movie or fucking read, that made you have I don't know, entertainment hope in the entertainment industry? Because I'll be real, I have had no hope at all.
Well,
There's been a couple things, obviously, like I actually started Arcane as of late. Yes, I'm really late to the party. Uh, and, and I'm liking it so far. Oppenheimer, I fucking loved Oppenheimer, but
Oppenheimer is really good.
but there's like incidental things but they haven't really inspired any kind of hope. I'm very cynical, as you can see. But like, what gave that? What do you think to you gave you like some kind of like you were like, holy shit, this was just so good. Like this was 10 out of 10. Like no plot flaws with it, and it gave you like some kind of hope in fucking humanity.
No 10 out of 10s, but I don't expect there to be. That is a nearly impossible accolade to get. Let me see. I would say that some of the things that I've really enjoyed watching lately are, of course, Arcane. Really high tier. Really, really liked Arcane a lot. Really good stuff.
Yeah, so far I'm like 3 episodes in. Again, I'm really fucking late to the part, but
yeah, but I'm glad you're watching it. Super good.
My only complaint, it's not even a big one. It's just like my only complaint is that it is, this isn't even a complaint. It's just like something. The show is very, very tried and true. Like it's like I've seen these kind of things before. Like super like the super solar serum, fucking like it's shit that I've seen before. But I don't really care. It's like
that is interesting, but all right.
Maybe like again, I'm only 3 episodes in. Maybe I'll see what the fuck is up later.
Yeah, I'm interested. Yeah, it's bizarre to hear, but all right, I guess if you feel that way.
It's very unoriginal, but honestly, what isn't anymore? Like the show so far, at least.
You have very interesting opinions. I'll give you that.
Oh my god.
Let's see.
No, again, I'm only 3 episodes in. Maybe I'll fucking.
I heard you. I promise. I heard you the first X times, but it's fascinating opinion that you came away with after the first 3 episodes of the show.
So far, it doesn't seem like the most original thing, but that doesn't really bother me because so far I'm really enjoying the characters and like the world. I'm loving it. Like
all right, well, that's good. I'm glad you're really enjoying it.
But
really enjoyed House of the Dragon. It had one bad episode, but I was all for it. I really, really enjoyed that season of TV. So many great characters, some awesome moments, great tension. Super excited to see what happened, and I am very, very, very much looking forwards to the next season of that whenever it comes out.
Yeah, I really liked House of Dragon, but thanks to that weird like thing that I talked about earlier about how like they did how they changed a couple things, which given Game of Thrones' fucking record about doing that, could lead to some consequences later on. I'm now very half and half. Like it could turn out
you're
maybe
half and half.
Like let me explain. Like, so like I said, in the first 4 seasons of Game of Thrones, there was some at first incidental changes.
Oh, let's assume that I was listening to you the first time. It seems bizarre that you would like with a show like House of the Dragon, you would point out some fact that they changed some stuff from maybe the original source material, and now that has got you to be half and half on the show.
But no, I think because it's not half and half in that way. It's just more so like if it turns to shit, I'm not gonna be surprised. I don't think it will, but
I
if
would
it
be
does,
very surprised if it turned to shit because there's a huge uh, level of quality and care that goes into the writing. I would be shocked if it was anything. If it was less than excellent, I would be pretty surprised. If
I
it
mean
was bad, I would be legitimately shocked. I would be wondering what the fuck happened.
I mean that's how most Game of Thrones fans felt back in the day. So I
But this
don't. I'm
isn't them. This isn't the same people doing it. It's a totally different crew.
yeah, I know it's not the same people, but
So it's completely
it's
different. It only
it's,
shares the name, but it's completely different group. It's like if
it's
Andor season 2 turned out to be really bad, I would be shocked.
it's not the same people, but it's like a similar pattern going on. Maybe they
No, it
could
isn't.
maybe no, I mean similar pattern of like changing the sort, like doing like weird incidental changes,
Oh no,
like in
because
the
that happened with Flanagan stuff, and that stuff's excellent. Hill House
all
has
right.
nothing to do with the book that it's based off of, but that's an incredibly good show.
Yeah, I guess, but I
And
don't
it
know. It's
happened all
just
the time with Marvel Civil War. Like things get changed more often than not, and their quality doesn't have anything to do with the fact they were changed. It's
no, I
whether
know, but
they
like,
wrote were actually good or not.
no, I know, but it's just like, well, what I'm trying to say here is that it happened in the original show, and look what happened there. So I'm not saying it's gonna turn to shit, but
Yeah, but again,
like,
that's a totally different crew, completely different everything.
but if it does turn to shit, then like there's probably like a stem, and which is what I said. So
This is like
but
saying if you know someone for years and they never lie to you, and then they do lie to you in a catastrophic way, you wouldn't say, "Oh, well, it doesn't surprise me because that's what people do. They lie."
I don't know. It's like I swear to you, there's like I'm like it's like okay, so like I know it's not the same people, obviously, like it's not, but they're doing like something similar. Now, granted, I'll give House of the Dragon
What are
a
they
pass.
doing that's similar?
Like they're a bit okay. I'll give House of the Dragon a pass because the source material is based on Fire and Blood. Is a how to explain this? It's not exact. It is a like it's a book, but it's not written in the same way as
What do you
the
mean it's
Game of.
not written in the same way?
It's written more like a history book.
Okay. So it's
Like
not about following the source material.
oh, it is, but
Oh, it
it's
is.
based,
What
but
if the
like the
source
show,
material isn't good?
but it is, but the reason why
What
I'm
if it
giving
isn't good?
House is because the Fire and Blood is like a history book, so it
No, no,
probably
like,
just
but if the source material isn't good, then you would want to depart from the source material, right?
oh, it might not be good. Like it's just stuff that I've been fucking hearing, and
Okay, but if the source material's bad, you would want the show or adaptation to depart from the source material, right?
I mean, yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
But from what everyone seems to be saying, Fire and Blood is good. So I don't know. Uh, but the reason why I'm still willing to give House of Dragon a benefit of the doubt because, like I
I'd hope
said,
so. After they gave you an excellent season of TV.
I was like no, but like not just that, but like I said, Fire and Blood is kind of written like a history book, and what House of Dragon is doing they're basically just going. It's like like they're just giving the whatever established characters they said in the books, and they're basically going off of scraps. You know what I'm saying? Like they're basically going off of scraps because of it was written like a history book. So, um, we don't know the mindset of these characters, obviously, because history. And but the from what I've heard at least, the way the show changes, like it's just like stuff that happened in the book but happened slightly differently in the show. But honestly, I'm not gonna be too scared because again, the book was written in a way where the show kind of like build upon. You know what I'm saying? Because we've like it's a good like it's a strange way that the book was written. The show could just kind of do whatever. You know what I'm saying? But if it turns bad, then you already fucking know why. Um, but yeah, House of the Dragon is an example of that. Which yeah, I agree. I remember people were saying the House of the Dragon was gonna be ass because because because
Because they
D and
saw
D.
the words Game of Thrones and they assumed it'd be the same people or something. Yeah. Obviously, people were worried if anything has that name attached to it. Yeah,
Uh, but yeah, like House of the Dragon, the so far has been pretty excellent.
yeah.
I don't know when season 2 is gonna come out, but yeah. And one thing I'm kind of slightly bitching about with season 2 though is not for like the show itself. It's just the fact that fucking George R. R. Martin keeps getting distracted.
All right.
Like,
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I've heard about the memes, but I don't follow him. I don't read his books, so I'm not really, I guess, in the know.
yeah, it's just like it's just like he just keeps getting fucking distracted. Then which his sixth book that's just out. That's just not real. But well, what's another example? I actually got to tell you a like a cautionary tale later on this call if we still have time. But what other show you got that or like movie or book or whatever that gave you like hope in life or the entertainment industry?
Well, Andor was another one. Andor's the bright shining spot on Star Wars, as we've kind of discussed briefly earlier. So I'm excited to get another season of that.
Yeah,
So I guess show wise, it's gonna be probably the big three for me are House of the Dragon, Arcane, and Andor. Those are the three things I'm really looking forwards to.
and I liked all those three. Arcane, especially, I'm really enjoying it. Ignoring my whole unoriginality critique. To be fair, though, that critique is kind of null and void because another example of that was a indie book series I discovered as of late called of fuck. I already forgot the name of the series. The three books are called of Blood and Fire. No, he did not steal it. Of Darkness and Light, and of War and Ruin. So those are the three books. And those books, right? It's like it's a fantasy trilogy, or so far it's a trilogy. It's gonna be more books later out in a year. Also, that man has an insane work ethic. Check Ryan Cahill. You'll see how insane his work ethic is. Those books, right? From what I've read, like in summaries, they're unoriginal as fuck. Like like they are like legit the same thing over and over again. But there's to me at least there's like two ways of kind of making stories at this point because originality is dead. You can either do the add your spin to it kind of thing, or you could do this. I know I may be unoriginal, but god damn it, am I gonna be the best at it? And that's kind of what Ryan Cahill is doing with his book series. Like his book series ain't all that original, but like if you're not gonna be original, at least commit to it. Like at least fucking do be the very best. Ash Ketchum. Like you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, sure. I mean, that's definitely a strategy. I always want to encourage people to try to be the best at what they do, whether it's original or otherwise. Sometimes you
Yes.
don't have to break the mold. You can just tell a really good story with really good characters, and people will gravitate towards it, and it'll be great.
And thus far, again, I could be wrong. That's kind of what I see with Arcane. Like Arcane is not the most original thing ever, but god damn it, is it gonna be the best at it? You're just perplexed, right? I
Yeah,
could. Yeah, you're just perplexed. You're
I'm
like,
glad you're enjoying it.
um, but yeah, those are like the three things. I know. What about the menu? Did that give you any kind of hope? I really
Didn't
love the menu.
I didn't see it.
Oh my god.
I don't
uh,
have any interest in it.
what? The menu's really fucking good.
I've heard mixed things about it, but
What? Mixed things? Like, I haven't.
yeah.
I've only. Me and a lot of people say it's like I haven't seen anything like bad about it. Interesting. You heard mixed things about it. Uh, I actually recommend it. Like you should watch it. So it's just a short film. You could like eat that. Um, Another film that kind of gave me hope is Babylon.
I don't. Is that a book? I don't read books anymore.
It's a twinsies. I can't. Even though I'm trying to be a writer, I actually can't fucking read. So
That's
I am
probably gonna be important to do that,
yeah,
right?
I am dangerously unqualified to be to be a writer, to be honest. Uh, but hey, hey, we're trying. I actually have a fucking stack of books at my desk right now. Um, I haven't touched a single one. The only one that I've touched was Name of the Wind, and you'll hear more of that later. But Babylon is it's a movie, so don't worry. It came out last year, 2022. It came out during the same time that The Last Wish came out, and so rest in peace, Babylon. But yeah, Babylon is a fucking 3 hour long film. It's really good. It's basically just one big fuck you to Hollywood. Literally, like the film is about the film industry. And it's like about like three or four different storylines kind of happening at once, and it's just one big glorious debauchery filled fuck you to Hollywood. It has Brad Pitt and Margot Robbie as like main characters. Surprised you
All
haven't.
right. I mean,
Surprised.
surprised I haven't what?
I'm surprised you haven't heard of it, given like the star power that it has.
Sorry, what was it called? I forget the name. What did you say it was?
Babylon.
Yeah, yeah, just no. I don't even think I've heard of it.
Yeah, I can kind of understand though, because the film did shit in the box office and it has a mixed reception. But I'll be real, I don't know why people hate it. Like it's really like it's really fucking good. Actually, what are some things like you must have something like that? Like, what are some things that you swear on Christ are like really good and people are lying to you? Like,
Things that are very good and people are lying to me about. I mean, people say
yeah,
that a lot about Andor. A
like
lot of people
that
don't think that's good. They think it's boring and dull and it's not Star Wars and blah blah blah. But it is.
yeah,
Um,
that's a good example. What's another thing that you swear on Christ is fucking good, but again, people are lying to you.
um, things that are really good, but people think they're bad.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know, honestly. Typically, it's the other way around. People think things are really good when they're shit. It
Oh, okay. I can.
normally isn't the other way around. Yeah.
That one's easier. I was gonna ask that one. After like, what are some things you swear on Christ are like shit, but people are like, people are lying to you.
I mean, there's plenty of people who, I mean, it happens all the time with these Disney shows. These shows come out, especially the Star Wars ones, and people, they sing and dance and they cheer and they say it's the best thing ever and it's incredible and wonderful and so meaningful and oh my gosh, I love it. Isn't this amazing? It's the most incredible media ever made. And then, a couple weeks go by and they all completely forget that it ever happened. And they sing its praises when we say it's shit the whole time because it is. Um,
Yeah.
happens plenty of time with the DCEU stuff. You still have plenty of Snyder fanatics who think that those weren't garbage. Those are fucking weird ass people.
Yeah, like the Snyder films are so like I kind of have a love hate relationship with Snyder, because like I don't hate Man of Steel. I don't like it either, but I do think there could have been some like I think there's like some value to it. But then comes the negatives, which kind of clash really fucking hard. So I don't really yeah. So I kind of have a love and hate relationship with the DCEU. We don't talk about the Snyder Cut. We don't talk about it. So yeah, that was so weird, dude. The Snyder Cut, like and is that so? Yeah, there goes that. But yeah, like what were you saying about like the things that people swear to Christ is like the best thing ever, but you and others are like, stop, stop it.
Oh, you want more examples? Glass Onion. The movie's
Ooh.
hot fucking garbage. It's horseshit movie, but a lot of people think it's really, it's amazing. Oh wow, it's even called Glass Onion. Ooh, that means you can do anything.
Oh,
Um,
I
I mean,
hate glass.
people really like Interstellar. That movie's shit.
Huh?
Um,
You don't like
I
Interstellar?
mean,
I haven't seen it,
what?
so I
Oh yeah,
haven't
it's
seen
really bad.
Interstellar. So
Uh,
it's just like shocked. It's just shocked. Like when I gasped, I was like, someone is saying that. Ooh, someone is saying something is bad. So why is Interstellar bad? Like I'm
it's a
actually.
terrible plot. Makes no sense. Really bad character stuff. World building sucks. All that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I gotta see it. So
All the reasons.
I'm a Christopher Nolan fanboy.
Well,
So but I haven't seen
yeah.
Interstellar, surprisingly.
Oh, I don't think I don't. I don't know if you're a fanboy if you haven't seen Interstellar. That's a pretty big deal. He doesn't make that many movies, but yeah, it's really terrible.
Yeah, Christopher Nolan's a fucking. Okay, actually, no, he has a pass. Because have you seen those fucking films? Like, like they take too much work.
Have I seen what?
like I'll give Christopher Nolan a pass for being a lazy bastard because you can tell that he puts too much
Is
effort.
he?
I mean, he doesn't make that much films.
Doesn't make that many films. I guess I don't know. I mean, he's made a decent amount. I don't know if that's considered a lot or not a lot, but I wouldn't say that. I mean, I think he's made a decent amount, right? And they're typically, kind of a big deal when they happen. So
Yeah, but apparently Interstellar is, not good. So I'll have to check that out. From what I know the general concept and it just doesn't interest me. It's like you're like space exploration. Like I love space and all that, but I don't know. I kind of want
you
more.
love space. You love space, and you're a Christopher Nolan fanboy, but Interstellar's not enough to get you to watch it. All right,
I don't know.
interesting.
I don't know if that says more about me or like maybe this is a bad omen that Interstellar probably sucks.
No,
So
I just think it's just interesting.
uh so yeah, like I don't know if that's like who's worse here, Interstellar or me, but yeah, but yeah, use Interstellar. I got a couple examples of my own of thing. I'm gonna say examples that you are probably not aware. Maybe you are, but obviously there's like the things we share, like you and me, like the Star Wars shit, um, the Disney shows, like people are fucking lying to me. I swear to God. And here's two examples or three, I'd say, that kind of fit that, but they're more outside the all this community. The first one being, actually, before I say this one, are you a fan of D&D by any chance?
Oh
Like
yeah,
Dungeons?
yeah. I don't play as much as I'd like to, but I would really like to get into it more. But yeah, I do really enjoy that sort of thing.
Oh, but when you do play, like, yeah, you play, right?
Rarely. I
That's
would
okay.
like
That's
to
good.
play more. I've enjoyed it when I have. So yeah, I could definitely be get more into it.
Were these campaigns or sessions actually serious, or were they just fucking jokes, like piss takes?
There were kind of jokes, maybe too much jokes. I depend. Yeah, but they were pretty chill. They were pretty chill and casual, which is I think how I'd kind of prefer it, kind of sort of
Oh,
cash.
okay. Oh, okay. Well, trust me though, when you actually play like a super serious one, um, it's really fun. It does feel like
I mean,
suicide.
it was the ones I had were fun. So
It does feel like suicide though, because sometimes, because goddamn, it's just so hard to like, fucking to coordinate times. Like, when I'm not busy fucking fighting crime, I have to check if any other people are like, ready. So it's generally like a hard thing to coordinate. So D&D is fun, but Jesus Christ, it doesn't feel like death when to like organize it. But so I just need to know that because this matters. And the reason why I ask is because I just keep remembering the wizard witch debate you had with fucking Frankie in the fucking Falcon and Winter Soldier video. Um, and the reason why I asked that is because there's a show on Amazon called The Legend of Vox Machina. Uh, if that name sounds familiar to you, then you probably know Critical Role, right?
I know of Critical Role and I know about the Vox Machina show.
Okay, so
I know
uh,
of it. I don't know anything about them though. I recognize those. I've heard those before.
okay, so that's good enough. So the show is a adaptation of like the campaign that was in the channel, like the live streams that were, yeah. Which, red flag number one, like, why are they adapting like live streams? Like, that seems pretty,
Is that a red
risk.
flag? I feel like a lot of D&D campaigns would make excellent seasons of TV. I think there's a super rich potential for
Perhaps,
making movies and shows about D&D style campaigns and stories.
perhaps, but the reason why it's a red flag, like, at least to me, is because if you see these episodes, they are long. So you gotta be
Why would
really,
that be
really,
a red flag?
it's because like you gotta be really, 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 really careful about like what to keep and what to change, like, and also like got like, and also I can imagine like one episode alone of Vox Machina in the YouTube version. That shit must be fucking boring. It probably isn't given how much fans it has, but it's like 5 hours per episode, so I can't imagine.
I wouldn't know. I haven't watched either of these things, as I've said.
But yeah, I don't know. Like, it's kind of a red flag to me. Because like,
All right.
re- re- really, uh, and
You have
but whatever.
strange flags, but all right.
We can get over this though. But if
I'm
you
over
actually
it.
want it, like we can get over that red flag. If the show's good, then okay, fine.
It's not even a
But
red. It shouldn't. No, it's not. It shouldn't even be a red flag.
oh no, I don't know.
It should be like, okay, that you just recognize that that's what the premise is, and if there's no there's no issues, there's no problems there whatsoever.
it's just to me like it's just such a strange thing to adapt like a fucking live streams.
I
Like
guess it's unorthodox and unusual, but I don't know what part of that would be like a red flag. What I don't know what the issue would be.
because like a lot can go wrong, and to be honest,
Yeah,
me
well, that can
watching,
go wrong with everything, right?
but like I feel like live streams are like super, you know, like different because they're fucking not scripted, like nothing, like it's really like pure like willpower, like to like make those
Well,
episodes.
that's what history is, right? History isn't scripted, and people do historical like documentaries and dramatizations all the time, and that works out great.
I guess I don't know. It's just, but that wasn't the biggest problem with the show because when you watch the show, right? Like maybe you'll like it. I don't know.
I won't.
Uh,
I
uh,
won't watch it. I just don't care.
but but to me, Vox Machina is one of the worst things I've ever seen in my fucking life. I'm not even kidding when I say
Oh,
that.
well, you're not selling it.
Yeah. And like no fucking joke, Vox Machina is one of the worst things I've ever seen in my life. Like, if I had a top 20, it's kind of sad that most of that top 20 is just Disney shit. But Vox Machina is like in there, like it's like legit comparable to the Disney shit, like the like Ahsoka or WandaVision or some shit. It's at that level. I genuinely fucking hate it.
Sure,
Uh,
I gotcha. Yeah.
and but people, I can't find a single bad review. Like, on God, like I genuinely can't find anything negative about the show. Like that on the internet. Like it's like you gotta fucking dive. You gotta scour that. It kind of feels like I'm the only person hating it. So at that point, so maybe I'm insane, or everyone is lying to me.
Well, if you have
But
a good standard to work with that's been reliant in the past, it definitely helps to make sure that your opinions are correct.
it's because this show has like shit, like the characters are shit, the world building is ass.
That's not good.
The world like and to be fair, this is D&D, so like the world building is gonna be kind of a lot. But what makes this one so bad is because there's just a lot. Like it's just way too fucking much. Like and that's kind of like why shit like Game of Thrones is really really popular. It's because for being a fantasy, Game of Thrones really isn't all that. Like yeah, there's dragons and shit, but there's no magic. There's like it's really restrained, surprisingly.
There's magic in there. There's magic in Game of Thrones.
Oh, no, but barely. Like,
Yeah.
like
All right.
barely, like really fucking barely.
Yeah, it's not much,
Uh,
but
and so it's like really restrained, surprisingly. I even think they're more restrained on the books because, I mean, yes, there's more spells in the books, but fun fact, there's no Night King in the books.
all right.
Like,
I don't. Okay.
yeah, so I don't know why, whatever. But so like it's like a lot, like the world building in Vox Machina, there's just like fucking god, like just like a gazillion gods, like all this, like D&D being D&D, like it feels like because of the amount of magic there is, you can just kind of do anything. And that's like the Harry Potter thing all over again. Like Harry Potter has so much spells that it's surprising that no one uses them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of huge world building issues with Harry Potter's premise. Yeah. Lot of issues. A lot of issues.
The Harry Potter, the same thing applies with Vox Machina. And also, I know this is D&D, but even in D&D, because the game is like strategic in nature, you can just tell in the show when the players fuck up. Like Why didn't the player do this? I mean, yeah, it's like oversight, so I'm not gonna go too hard. And it is a live stream, so again, like the oversights can happen, but that's why I'm saying like we're adapting this live stream is kind of a weird idea given the amount of oversights that seem to happen frequently. Because what a really malleable game that is, D&D. Because as you know, like a story can radically change if a player fucks up. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it certainly can. Yeah, it'll be GM dependent, but yeah, it's definitely a possibility. Yeah, certainly can.
And that's why it's to me a red flag because D&D and the live stream, like at first it's a live stream,
I mean,
but
that's like true in stories, right? It can radically change if the characters make certain choices, right? Like
yeah,
you'd
the difference between
expect that, right?
but the difference between something like a book is that, or like a book and a campaign is that a book, the author has at least like most of it planned out. I like at least like a chunk of it. But with the D&D campaign, the dungeon master can have all that shit planned out. It will never be realized because the players are either too good or too bad.
Well, I mean, that's part of being a good dungeon master, right? Is having contingencies and understanding that, of course, it's not all going to happen as you expect it to. So you have all of the alternative things, ready in case X,
Yeah,
Y, or Z happens. That's
yeah,
part of it.
yeah, exactly. But it's just like to adapt to that though. Like I could just tell when there's like massive oversight. Like the strategy just fucking fails with these players. Um, and what like I'm gonna give you a really out of context thing, because you're not gonna watch it anyways. But they made a really big deal about holy water or something. But then one of the characters, Scallon, who is by the way one of the worst characters I've ever seen in my life. He
Okay.
has this power called Scallon Hand, which is basically just like if you're familiar with the game, it's like Mage Hand, like the
Cantrip.
hologram.
Yeah.
Yeah, the cantrip, like the hologram, the holographic, basically hologram hand. Uh, and but the reason why it's called Scallon Hand is because I don't know, but basically it's just that, right? And he uses it so many times, but the holy water falls from the fucking a cliff in one episode, but at no point Scanlan ever uses the fucking hand to get the thing. So that was like a huge oversight from the
Well, I
player.
mean, Mage Hand does have restrictions on its distance and its weight, right?
Oh, it does, but like,
If it falls off a
trust me.
cliff, then you won't be able to get it.
Oh yeah, but like, not only were they next to the cliff, meaning that he still could have saved it, but he didn't think of it at all.
All right, because Mage Hand it's only a 30-foot range.
Yeah, but they trust me, they weren't 30 foot. Like they were really fucking, like they were like on the edge of the cliff, which is how I was able to fall off so easily. And but he still didn't. Like, it was like an oversight, I guess.
All right,
Uh,
yeah, yeah, it's something you should address or someone needs to bring up or yeah.
and
Which is weird
and
because when I really like to like a bard is my thing. I like to play a bard. I like the vibe. I like the kind of play style. I like the trickery and things of that nature. So like for me, I'd be all over it because I love that kind of stuff. I'm not
yeah,
really
actually,
a martial sort.
yeah, I'm actually like I also play D&D a lot. Like whenever I'm not getting beaten up by fucking criminals or writing, I play D&D with my pals, with my other crime fighting people. I like uh I think I'm a bit too obsessed because I have fucking 7 characters in the fucking ready. Like 3 of them have died. And I just have like 5 of them in the ready just in case like someone dies. Um and yeah, the next one, like the next, like right now I'm playing like a sorcerer barbarian subclass, very original, I know. And the next one I'll play is a bard because bards are somehow the most overpowered and least overpowered class ever. Because bards have like a gazillion spells, but they're
Well, I
weak as
think
shit.
well, I think it's just the creativity element of what you can do with their set of tools. With I
Yeah,
really like to try and get creative with illusions and things of
yeah,
that
yeah,
nature to come up with creative solutions. That's kind of my jam. That's what I really like. I like to problem solve in that sort of way.
yeah. So I'm not saying I hope my character dies, but if I do, then I'll probably go for the bard that I have in my fucking stash. But yeah, like there's like a lot of weird oversights like that. This is another criticism I have with this show, and
Well, I do have to head out here in a second because again I don't know anything about the show. I don't follow any of this stuff. It's just gonna
oh,
be
okay.
something I'm
Yeah, yeah,
not really aware of or knowledgeable
yeah,
in.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I'll like kind of transition, but just just like this last like thing. Just
All right.
another problem I have is it kind of does this thing where like character development isn't really like natural. Like incidental events don't really like the way character development I think would work is like throughout like the whole thing they would develop, but the like the whole 100% or like 90%. But the way that the show does it is that characters don't develop
That's
until
fine.
something like wait, what do you say?
That's fine. That's normal, right? That's
Oh,
pretty normal for people, right? Static characters are okay.
yeah, yeah, obviously, but the show kind of does like it doesn't know what it wants to do because when the show doesn't develop its characters, but then it does, and what I mean by that is that the only way that these characters seemingly develop is if there's like giant catastrophic like fucking things like all the like these just giant as events, and that I guess that's
I mean, that'll
okay. But
change a person.
it'll change a person, but
Yeah.
it's like a one trick pony kind of thing. You know what I'm saying?
No, not really.
Well, like when every time it's like just
Like the
that,
only thing that makes characters change is really big events.
and like when I say big events, I mean like they're fucking huge. Like there's like it's some bullshit. Like literally, again, I don't want to bring up too much examples, but I'm gonna use this one. One of the main characters of Vax, he's the male elf. Uh, he had no fucking shit in season one. But then in season two, right off the bat, he becomes the champion of the Death Crow God and experiences fucking ancient war flashback just like that. And then his sister dies in the same episode, only to get brought back. And then the whole Death Crow God thing is never okay, that's a lie. It's barely addressed throughout the show. So like I felt like I got hit with a meteor and no one's talking about it. You know what I'm saying? So like they don't talk about him a whole lot, but then when they do it in like the most like it's so artificial. You know what I'm saying? It's
Uh,
like this.
kind of.
It's like okay. It's kind of like
Yeah,
what the
sort of.
it's okay. It's kind of like
I really
what.
do have to go. Actually, I do need to like be leaving here.
Oh, okay. Let me just finish up this point. But it's kind of like
No, man, we're
what.
there. I gotta go.
Oh shit.
I told you.
Okay.
I gave you warnings, man. I gotta head
Shit.
out.
All right. Well, it was really cool to talk to you.
Oh yeah, no
Um,
problem at all. You
i-
bet. Anytime, anytime.
if you want to talk again, we could stay in touch. Uh, or if you want that, hopefully I can get in contact with the other people. But yeah, it was nice talking to you, man.
Yeah, sure. I think I kind of bit of a departure from the other two in that I do stuff like this. I don't think they do, but I mean, best of luck. Maybe they will. But
Yeah,
yeah, who knows? I guess
hopefully.
we'll see.
All right, see ya. Hope we can stay
Yep.
in touch. Bye. Bye.
I will see you later. Bye bye.
See ya.